develop your own unique strategies. This is Sins of a Solar Empire 2. Both the 4X and RTS genres require practice to master, and Sins of a Solar Empire 2 is a deep game that blends both styles into an all-new strategy experience. While it is designed to be easy to learn and get playing straight away, mastering the game's systems and rising your way up through the difficulty levels, or perhaps even facing off against other players in competitive matches, takes practice and knowledge of the many mechanics and rules. In this episode, we'll take a look at some hints and tips that can help you get an advantage in your own struggles for supremacy. These tips have been selected to shine a spotlight on the game's depth and intricacy, giving you an insight into how the various mechanics mesh together and hopefully inspire you to explore these game features. You can then go on and use this knowledge to develop and utilise your own special tactics. Every ship in each faction's roster has its own unique weapons loadout, defensive systems, propulsion characteristics and special abilities, and it can be tempting to pass over this information while you're learning the game, focusing instead on the larger scale strategy of your campaign. Overwhelming numbers are not always a safe bet for winning a battle, and even very heavily outnumbered fleets can often pull off a win through advantageous force composition. Get to know your ships. Once you've played the game a couple of times, you should pick your favourite faction and go in and take a look at each one's various statistics and abilities. A breakdown of weapon, defence and ability statistics can be seen by hovering over the small icons directly left of the unit portrait in the bottom centre portion of the user interface here. Pay close attention to hit points, armour and shield ratings, and each weapon's damage per second values, and how well they penetrate armour, remembering that the higher the pierce value, the better it'll penetrate well-armoured ships like heavy cruisers, capital ships and titans. Hovering over the unit portrait and holding the Alt key shows even more information, including a ship's max speed. Using the right combination of weaponry against the fleets your enemy is fielding is a fast track to victory. On the topic of the user interface, you should get to know that too. If you've not already done so, check every button and its tooltip. Here are some important features you just have to know about. You can easily add and remove planets and fleets to the bookmark menu on the left of the screen, and drag and drop them to reorder them. Every entity in the gravity well will be displayed on the right here, and this is often the best way to select ships during combat, saving you from struggling to find and select them during the big, fast-moving melees that often occur in Sins of a Solar Empire 2. If you control left-click, you can select all units of that type, and you can target enemy ships from here. There are some advanced options for colonies and ships here too. Rotating the ships in your fleet or the orbital structures around a colony to better face oncoming threats can be useful, and if you need to quickly remove unwanted ships to free up their supply points, you can scuttle ships here. You can see your own military, economic and research ranking in comparison to other players when hovering over your own faction in the diplomacy window, F4, or over your chosen icon in the far left of the bottom UI. This information can be critical when considering your strategic options. Don't forget, you can easily manage your colonies from the Colonized Planets screen, saving you from having to search for them on the map, and the military command screen contains similar functionality for your capital ships, titans and starbases too. Knowing the positions of enemy fleets is critical to your tactical and strategic decision making, and every faction has a scout frigate to accomplish this goal. They can be manually controlled for specific reconnaissance missions, but left to their own devices, they will automatically scout the map and update your record of enemy systems and formations. Get into the habit of building scout frigates periodically. They require no direct management to work and will keep you one step ahead of your rivals. Siege ships and other vessels with planetary bombardment capabilities can be a huge threat during invasions. Unless you've built substantial planetary fortifications to boost a colony's hit points, it's often wise to target and destroy those kind of weapon systems first, eliminating the risk of losing your colony as you tangle with their escorts. Just be aware that some capital ships can be very difficult to destroy, but while they are targeting your planet, they are not targeting your fleets. Furthermore, destroying neutral force siege frigates first paves the way for a quick colonisation, allowing planetary track or orbital structure development before the rest of the defending ships are eliminated. It is wise to research logistical technologies early to preempt the need for supply cap increases. Even if you've no immediate need for more ships, games of Sins of a Solar Empire 2 can develop very quickly. It could be painful being caught by a surprise enemy raid while your other forces are on campaign elsewhere. Winning fleet engagements is one thing, but permanently destroying enemy fleets is another thing entirely. Trapping an enemy fleet in a gravity well in order to completely eliminate it as a threat can be achieved with the following: phase jump inhibitor structures, the Advent Radiance battleship ability Animosity, the Advent Revelation battlecruiser's ability Reverie, the TEC Marza Dreadnought's ability Concussion Charge, and the Vasari Jarasul Evacuator ability Gravity Warhead. Swarms of enemy missiles and strike craft can be an intimidating threat to your capital ships, especially if you don't have the right tools to deal with them. It's a wise idea to bring along plenty of ships with point defense to protect your more vulnerable vessels from missiles. But there are also some useful capital ship and Titan items and abilities that can help out too. The Flak Burst item can be assigned to any TEC capital ship, and when activated will damage or destroy all enemy missiles within its area of effect. Similarly, the Advent's Halcyon carrier can use telekinetic push, pushing back missiles, affecting strike craft too. The Vasari Exodus Varastra Titan can micro-phase jump across the gravity well, causing damage to all missiles and ships in its arrival radius. Note that this affects strike craft. Kill hundreds of fighters and bombers with a well-timed micro-jump. Asteroids have smaller gravity wells, and that means your defensive orbital structures will be much more effective in engaging enemy ships passing through, regardless of their targeting range. Asteroid choke points such as this one can often be a good defensive position for a well-supported starbase. Just remember, static defences won't hold up to a serious assault forever, but when supported by a powerful defensive fleet, can hold off much larger and more dangerous forces for longer. Capital ships, starbases and titans have a special crippled state that they enter once their main hit point pool has been depleted, disabling their weaponry and special abilities. In a fraught and close-fought battle, it can be a solid strategy to drive off crippled ships rather than trying to destroy them, as your firepower might be desperately needed elsewhere in the battle. Of course, destroying these powerful warships and starbases is your best option if you're not risking losing a battle to do so. The Ankylon Titan is incredibly strong when assisting a fleet in the defense of a friendly gravity well, because of its powerful support abilities. If you can catch one outside of its own territory, however, they can be much easier to defeat and drive off or destroy. Meanwhile, the Ragnarov Titan has tremendous firepower and deals incredibly high damage to even the most heavily armoured targets. It's imperative that you do not allow it to sit around and fire at your fleet for too long, as catastrophic casualties will result. Ensure you can get around its defences and harass it with something manoeuvrable, while keeping your most vulnerable ships out of its range. The Vasari have access to a powerful technology for in-combat shield regeneration, and this works in tandem with their legendary hull regeneration abilities to ensure their ships are incredibly difficult to kill. Make sure you grab the regenerative shielding line of technologies as early as you can manage. It will help offset your usual numerical disadvantage when facing the TEC and Advent, and fully synergizes with the Vasari's phase resonance abilities to perform rapid hit and run strikes, allowing your fleets to do massive damage and escape before your warships can sustain any serious damage. The Advent have many powerful and unusual combat abilities that synergize well together to create an effect that is greater than the sum of their parts. There are many to find, but here's one to get you started. The Advent Radiance battleship has two abilities which work nicely together. Animosity forces enemy ships to target the Radiance while reducing their damage, while Energy Absorbative Armour converts incoming damage into psi power. You can also research and construct the Psykinetic Plating ship item, which hardens the ship's armour the more psi power it is generated. A Radiance battleship with Psykinetic Plating will be incredibly difficult to kill, as incoming damage will continually raise its armour strength and max armour points up to a certain cap. Stacking this with the Advent psi power boosting technologies will make this sneaky strategy even more effective. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 is a deep game, and there's much satisfaction to be had exploring its many intricacies. It's our hope that these tips will inspire you to find your own tactics and strategies as you play. Now, it's time to crush your enemies and conquer the galaxy.